All right, we're good. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popping the Popcorn. I'm your host, Katie, and today I'm here with some very special guests because it's a special episode for me. It's 6-month anniversary podcast episode. I've been doing this podcast since May 30th of this year. How's everybody doing tonight?
Woo!
Wonderful.
Happy to be here.
Feeling good.
Wonderful.
I'm happy to
Thank
be here
you.
too. You're welcome. And you guys have been on, and Mark supported me when the podcast was really small, and then everybody else has been on a couple of episodes with me. So we're just going to reminisce and talk about some of our favorite movies and some of the podcast episodes and stuff like that. So what do you guys like about the podcast that I've done so far?
I just love how diverse you are in everything that you watch. It's like so impressive. The stuff that like you'll go from horror to sci-fi to like classic films. Like the thing I love about Popping the Popcorn most is that you cover everything and you speak about everything like so well. No matter what the genre is.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything?
I like how positive you are in your reviews. Like sometimes the movies you'll be reviewing are obviously maybe not as well made as others. Maybe they're lower budget, and you always have something good to say about them, no matter how, I don't want to say bad, but however, no matter what other people might think about them. And then if you ever have anything negative to say, it's usually maybe I just didn't get it. It's never like a legit negative thing. It's always positive. You can find something good in just about any film. And I think that's really cool. I'm kind of the same way. I have a hard time being mean when I criticize movies.
I am too. Well, it's because of how much work goes into it and how much work everybody puts into it. I don't want to say, oh, this is crap. And then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
So again, here at SheWind, Katie reached out to us right when we were starting too. So again, along with the podcast, is how supportive you are of the community is just absolutely spectacular. Again, we love the podcast. We love hearing about Disney. We love hearing about Star Wars. We love hearing about all this stuff. But you, Katie, as an individual, have made the community better by you being part of it.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah. Katie, I don't think anyone knows Disney films better than you. I have listened to one episode in particular where you actually went through, I think it must have been the entire Disney catalog from the 1940s to the present, in regards to what you liked about the movies and the type of movies that were made at that time, was interesting. Some may not have been, it really depends on the time frame back in the day. There's some things that may not work in this time period, but you talked about each decade and you talked about the Pixar films, you talked about the early Disney films. So I just enjoy listening to you because you've seen a lot more movies than I have. So I can learn a lot from you in regards to Disney. So I admire your passion for films and especially for Disney. So that's what I like most about this podcast.
Thank you. I just like to do all different kinds of films and stuff like that, just because sometimes there might not be something out there that somebody doesn't know of or something.
Mm-hmm.
Keith, what do you think? Do you I know you like Star Wars. What did you think of the Lego Star Wars, the new Terror one, the Halloween one?
That was awesome.
Has anybody else seen that one?
I have not.
I don't watch the Lego Star Wars stuff. I don't know why. I've never tried.
We'll have to watch those.
I'm falling behind on that.
Oh, it was really good. I liked it. What did you like about it, Keith?
Yeah.
Well, I honestly thought it was great how they took the tale of how Luke blew up the Death Star and just put a whole reverse spin on it. And he still blew up the Death Star. And he didn't even mean to this time.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So it was a good mix of stories that are considered canon, and then there was one story in particular that was definitely not canon, but it was just fun to watch. To me, it felt like a what if episode. So the episode was, what if Luke joined the Empire? You know, so if you have not seen it, I highly recommend it. But I think it's you know, it's very well made. You could tell the creators behind it love Star Wars, and they reference, you know, speaking to what you like, Katie, you know, you're a horror film buff. There are references in the episodes to different horror movies. So I'm sure, well, you've seen it, and you've probably caught the references, to other horror films. So that was pretty cool.
Yes, I did. Did you guys see it, SheWind?
No, we haven't got a chance to see it yet. The last Lego one I think we watched was, I think there was one last Christmas.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I think it was last Christmas
special.
Yeah, that one
was a
came
Christmas
out last
special.
year. That came out last year.
Yeah, I know we really loved that one. But again, that was almost a year ago.
It's okay. So what so you guys can ask me some questions too if you guys like. You have any questions for me? You guys like to ask?
So Katie,
Sure.
what would you say was the movie that made you fall in love with film? Like, what was the first movie that you saw that you remember that like you were hooked on movies?
I was 5 years old, and my parents, I don't know why, but they took me to see Edward Scissorhands in the movie theater, and I just fell in love with Tim Burton, the way he's one of my favorite directors, but the way that he directs and seeing I guess it's not really like a horror film, but I don't know what it's called exactly, but it was like the first time I can remember falling in love with like movies and just like in general, just like just seeing how like they make the movie and how it's directed and how different like all the scenes were. And actually one of the scenes was filmed in Lakeland, Florida, which is 4 hours from me.
Wow.
Very good.
Has anybody else seen that movie?
Oh yeah.
Multiple times.
You have not. Yes.
You have it on DVD, don't you?
We do have it on DVD. Yes.
No, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible. I've never shown her Edward Scissorhands. I'm a bad parent. She made a mistake.
No, Keith hasn't seen it either. You know, so that's fine. That's fine. He has time, plenty of time.
That's so good.
I think that one's rated PG-13.
It is. I think I was 12 or 13 when that one was in the theater. I was in middle school. I remember seeing that with my parents, though, and that was probably. I had seen Beetlejuice. Obviously, that was when I was like 8 or 9 when that one came out, and I remember thinking this seems very Beetlejuicy to me, and I didn't know at the time like how directors work and that they have their own styles and you know with that. But I was like, whatever this is, I like it. And that was when I kind of fell in love with Tim Burton, and he's always been one of my favorite. And Danny Elfman is the music writer. That combo is just magic, and I love both of them. They're fantastic.
Yeah, Danny Elfman is one of my favorite composers. He's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
SheWind, have you guys seen it? What did you say, Keith?
He did The Simpsons.
Yes.
He did the Simpsons thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it took him like 5 minutes
14.
to write it. He said he's best known for something that took him 5 minutes to write, like offhand. He came up with it and was like, there you go. Here, I've got other things to move on to, and that's probably what he's best known for. That's very fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Keith is into Simpsons right now. So you're on season 13.
Yeah, that's one too.
Season 14.
So, isn't there like 40 or 50 seasons of The Simpsons?
There's only 30.
Yeah, it's been on
The 32nd season came out
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
I was in the
got
6th
33rd
grade when that show premiered. I remember.
I was 5.
And I'm 43 now.
And I started watching The Simpsons in 6th grade last year. So.
That's been on for a long time.
I remember when a Bart Simpson T-shirt in school was controversial.
Oh yeah.
I've actually seen people. I've actually seen kids around school wearing Bart Simpson shirts.
It probably is not nearly as controversial as when I was in middle school.
Yeah,
They're
I was
kind
going
of
to
like,
say
okay,
when,
well, that's a shirt.
it was a dress code violation when I was in school to wear the Bart Simpson shirt. I'm
It
aging
depended on the
myself.
shirt, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got in trouble for saying "eat my shorts."
I think
Yeah.
we all. I think we all did. We all did.
I think we all got in trouble for that once. I think I said it to like my friend or something like that, and then I got in trouble for it.
I can remember thinking so many kids, their parents didn't like The Simpsons and they didn't let them watch it because they thought it was just not wholesome. And I've
Yeah.
gone back with my own kids and we've binge watched some of it. And it's like, this is actually, it's very wholesome in its realism. And you look at things that have happened over the last 32 years since it's premiered and how much things have changed. It's like, this is actually a pretty wholesome show. At least it's realistic, but the parents stay together and they support their kids no matter what their failings are. And I'm like, it's actually a pretty good show. It's
Right.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And SheWind, do you like The Simpsons or have you seen The Simpsons?
Oh yeah, we've seen a lot of it.
Oh yeah. I think we still have the big, before streaming, we had the big old DVD sets of it sitting on our shelves, the huge box sets. And
I
again,
have them in the next room.
you know exactly what those are beautiful box sets. They're really well designed. They're really cool. They look great on the shelf. My son is starting to watch it. He's 7, so he's starting to get into it. But again, it's hard to get him away from Minecraft YouTubers. So
Yeah. That's an addiction.
yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of YouTube, Katie, I have a question for you.
Sure.
You just started your YouTube channel and are already exploding with getting like 40 subscribers in like a week.
Congratulations, Katie.
So
Thank
I just
you.
want to kind of figure out what inspired you to do this.
Well, I was just like, why not try and just like post videos of me reviewing stuff instead of like always writing them down. So when I watch a movie, I have notes and then I just record myself. And I was just like, maybe people would want to see something like that, something that they've never heard of or seen or something like that. And so that's what made me want to get into it.
Yeah.
It's amazing
Go
how
ahead.
movies bring us together, isn't it? They just like, there's so this universal human experience and we can all find something different in them, but we can also come together. Like they bring people together. I think that's why people like them.
Absolutely.
Keith, you wanted to ask something?
Yeah. What made you want to start a podcast?
So what made me want to start a podcast was I just wanted to go into people's lives and just like just make them happy for like an hour or 30 minutes and just talk about movies and just my passion for movies and the love that I have for people. And that's what made me want to start my podcast. And then also watching my friends do podcasts and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, I could do something like this.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Hey, Katie, are you from Florida? Did you grow up in
Yes,
Florida?
I grew
You
up
are.
in Florida. I was born and
Okay.
raised in Florida.
Got it. How many times have you gone to Disney World?
Oh, I've gone a million times since I was like, since I was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Katie told me a fun fact before anyone came on air, because we're Northerners. I'm a Pennsylvanian myself. Katie told me she has never in her life seen snow.
Wow.
Wow.
What?
Never.
That is insane. We got like 3 feet when we lived in New Jersey.
Oh yeah, that was that Winter Storm Jonas in 2016. Yeah, January 2016
16 or 17.
We had
one or
2
the other.
feet in our front yard. We were renting a dairy farm.
I was like, I was going to the neighbor's house, and my sister, she was like, "Aaliyah, wait for
So
me!"
much
She was like
snow.
sinking in the snow, and she's
So
like, "Wait
much.
for me!" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah, I've
Wow.
never seen snow, so I'll come visit all y'all and we'll hang out.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wow.
Sounds
How about that? And
that's crazy.
What- can you tell us, you said you've been to Disney World quite a few times. What's one of your favorite moments going to Disney World? What was something that you remember that you'll never forget? One of your
Walking
experiences there.
walking down Main Street for the first time with my mom a couple years before she passed away was one of my favorite memories. And we were just there, just like having a girls' day at the Magic Kingdom, and we rode some of our favorite rides and stuff like that. And that's one of the memories that I have, and that's one that I'll always have with my mom.
Wow. Beautiful.
That's awesome.
So, Katie, let's go in a different direction. You always talk about your favorite rides. You have a button to just demolish a ride at Disney World, so it's disappeared off the planet. So you can make room for a brand new ride. What ride are we getting rid of?
I would get rid of Dinosaur. I don't like that ride.
I don't know.
Oh,
I
no.
never
Nobody
It's-
tell.
It's
Yeah.
like Indiana Jones, but it's
Nobody
fine.
tells who?
Nothing can top Indiana
I was
Jones.
like, just don't
The
tell
theme
Dwayne. Don't tell Dwayne. Don't
Okay,
share.
then.
Dwayne loves dinosaur. My co-host loves it. So we'll edit that part out for
I
him.
haven't
Dwayne-
seen that movie in
Dwayne's gonna kill me when he listens to the podcast.
So,
That is, I'll be honest, that is one of my favorite rides too, at the Animal Kingdom, because it never has a line, and you can get some
That's
great pictures on it.
Our son loves that
We
ride.
have to go on it 3-4 times in a row. 'Cause it's only like a
Dinosaurs.
5-minute wait.
now
Yep.
what I will say is I'm very eager to try out the Indiana Jones iteration over on the West Coast.
Oh,
It's so much.
good.
It's the same track, but it's so much better.
Because
Yeah.
I'm
But it's
a
just showing her
sucker,
that
yeah. I'm a
she's
sucker
never
for
ridden the
Indiana.
dinosaur, but she's ridden Indiana Jones, and she likes Indiana Jones. And I was saying it's the Indiana Jones ride. It's just a different theme.
Yeah.
So, but
Indiana
it's
Jones is
the
better.
Indiana's
I would try.
better. Yeah.
I would try the Indiana Jones ride. The only reason why I don't like dinosaurs is because it makes me really sick and I just can't ride it. I mean, like, I like the scenery and stuff of it, but it just makes me really sick. I just can't ride it. I get motion sick on it.
I haven't ridden it in at least a decade, and I would worry about what it might do to my back because I'm not the same person I was in my 30s.
It's rough. It's a rough ride.
I've never been on it, so I wouldn't know.
I'm scared to try
And-
it now.
And then Keith and Kerwin have never been on it either.
You know what? I'll tell you. The last time I've been to Disney World was in 1999.
Wow.
That's a
I have not
while
been to Disney World
ago.
since then, and
That's
I have not
good.
taken the boys to Disney World
That's-
either. So I'm
It's
hoping.
been 22
it's
years. since
Very
we
good.
went
You
to
did good,
Disney
man.
World.
Let me tell
Yeah.
you,
Absolutely.
as
Yeah.
much
So I'm-
fun as it is to go yourself, there is nothing like experiencing it through the eyes of your own children. That's for me
yeah,
where
right,
all the
yeah.
feels come from. It's hard for me not to cry when we first lay eyes on the castle and I see the kids seeing the castle, when we see the first parade. All those things that
Nice.
you can remember when you were a kid, you see it through your kids' eyes. It's a whole. It just makes it worth it, and it makes me realize this is why my dad always did it for us. It wasn't for him; it was for us, and to see that in our
Sure.
eyes.
right.
And Kerwin, you're gonna cry when you see the Millennium Falcon for the first time.
Oh wow.
I did. I bawled. Like I had to. It took my breath away.
Yep.
And then so I rode Smuggler's Run. We had an annual pass holder preview, and I was dressed. I'm gonna send you guys a picture. My wife and I Disney
Please.
bounded as Han Solo and Princess Leia.
Yeah.
And so we get in line, and the cast member looks us up and down, and he goes, "You're gonna wait for a pilot." And I'm like, "Oh, whatever." And he's like, "No. You have to fly. You're dressed as Han Solo. You have to fly." So I sit right pilot. Kerwin, when I threw it into hyperspace, it was like the culmination of my Star Wars dreams all coming true. I teared up. My wife looked over. She's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I'm crying in the middle of a ride. Leave me alone."
Wow.
I
Yeah.
was an engineer. I got to
That's
button
awesome.
mash.
Yeah.
I just
I
haven't-
I had
That's
a,
one.
I had a
Go
same
ahead.
reaction on Rise the Resistance. Minute those
She
shuttle bay
cried.
doors
Yeah, I
open
cried.
and you
She
are
cried.
on a Star Destroyer, I air left my body. My wife had to literally drag me because I was just so lost.
Yeah.
I was pretty
Oh yeah. I
lost.
can't wait. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I haven't been on it either. So, because I could never get the line was too long, or I could just never get for rides. I could just never get a virtual queue. So, never been on either one of
Woke up
them.
at like 5.
No, we didn't get up that early.
It
We-
felt
good
like
news is-
we got up early
Rise
enough to
Resistance-
rope drop it twice.
Rise of Resistance
the
doesn't have a
second
virtual
time
queue
it was
anymore.
taken.
Yeah, no more virtual.
Yeah,
So
so
the
maybe I'll go
only-
stand in the line.
The only
It's
dream
not so
that I
bad if
have
you rope
left,
drop it.
left for Galaxy's Edge is I'm stalking him on socials to find out a day when Mark Daniel is going to be one of the builders.
Yeah.
I have to experience the lightsaber build with Mark Daniel as my builder.
We
That's-
interviewed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Mark. He's just amazing. So
He
I
is.
have to find out a day that he's in Galaxy's Edge as a builder, and I got to check that out.
Wow. Okay.
Love Mark.
That's- That's something we need to look into as well. Yeah. Yeah. I really hope that I can take the boys next year. I know they're at the age now where they'll remember it and they'll have so
Oh,
much
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and like you said, Sarah, it's just just seeing it through their eyes, is fantastic. I can't
Absolutely.
wait. Yes.
When you were kind of smart to wait too, because this was our first trip. We went a few weeks ago. This was our first trip where we had no stroller, no diapers, and all kids could ride all rides. We had no parent swap. It was glorious. It was the first time in 13 years.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, SheWind, she asked to do that. You guys do parent swap, right?
Yeah, we recently went and we did the parent swap, which it does get you to go back in, quick, because you get to swap out and the other parent gets to go quick. But there is something to say for not having to find your stroller amongst 100 other strollers.
It was nice.
So, Katie, speaking of rides, what would you say your favorite ride is? That no
Space
matter.
Mountain.
There you go.
Space
She
Mountain.
knew it right away. She knew it.
Well, it's because the reason why I like Space Mountain is a lot of people don't know that I'm really huge into astronomy. That's one thing people don't know about me. And I just like Space Mountain because it's a dark ride and you could see like the Milky Way galaxy shooting past you and the shooting stars and stuff like that. And it's just so cool. I mean, like, I know the ride like hurts people's backs, but I still love it.
See, now I'm just so impressed that you can focus on that, because I always just focus on not losing my hands when I'm putting them up. I worry about getting them chopped off.
Oh, I don't put them up on that ride because I'm always afraid I'm going to hit my head or something.
Same
on that ride.
I missed the line on Space, the old line when I was a kid, when you would walk into where the actual ride was and they had the galaxy. You could look up and it was on the ceiling and you could see the shooting stars and the meteors and all that. And now it's just a plain ceiling with LED glowing, and I miss that old ceiling. That was so cool.
Sounds like it was cool.
The line was half the fun. Like, I never minded waiting in line because it was so cool.
Right. But I do want to try Hyperspace Mountain in California, though.
I want to try the one in Paris. Oh my gosh, that one looks amazing.
It does look pretty cool.
You like start out, it shoots you. And they did the tribute as a tribute to Jules Verne. It's like very steampunk. It looks awesome.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does. Any other questions you guys have?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your question?
Halloween, what's your favorite candy?
My favorite candy is a Reese's Cup.
Oh, yes. Right here.
Classic.
I like those.
Reese's and Kit
Kats. I like Skittles.
Me too.
Speaking of Reese's Pieces, Katie, are you a fan of E.T. the Extraterrestrial?
Yes, I like E.T. That's one of Steven Spielberg's first couple of movies that he did.
Yeah, that one freaked me out when I was younger.
So that one was the first movie that I can actually remember seeing in the theater. I think I was like 4 or 5 years old when it came out. And I remember I was visiting my cousins that summer. We were in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And my aunt was afraid I was going to freak out in the garbage or the shed scene. And she had my older cousin Deseret take me out of the theater. And I'm like, I want to see what's going on. I got so mad because my aunt was afraid I would get scared. And then she took me back in when that part was over.
That was
I remember when I was 5 years old.
So that was it. That was the movie that hooked me in cinema. I loved E.T. so much. I had a little plush E.T. doll that I carried around with me everywhere, probably for the next 3 years. It was like my doll.
Mark, was it that leathery ET doll? The one
it was.
Yep, I had him.
Yep, it was. And the leather, but it wore off after a little
like
bit.
A sticky, hairless cat. Oh my gosh, that sounds gross.
It did, and it really did. It wore off after a while, and then it just got really smooth, and that thing was worn down. My mom threw it away on me because it got so ratty. And she got rid of my ET. He went home. That's what she did.
There you go.
He's gone home.
I had that same ET, that leathery, turned smooth one. And for me, I chewed on its finger for some reason. I don't know why I chewed on that finger. So the finger was pure white, like his finger was frozen, frostbite.
Well, that's because he was getting sick, and Elliot,
That's what it was.
he and Elliot were getting sick. He just had to go home.
That's funny. Oh, excuse me. Have you seen that movie, Keith? Have you seen E.T. yet?
Not
No.
yet. It is on the list.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Keith, let me know when you watch that one. I would like to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
So
that
you'll have-
Disney Plus and all these have like a watch feature now. that you can
Yeah,
actually
you can
watch
host
them
watch
with
parties.
friends.
Mhm.
We should, Katie, you should do that as an episode.
Ooh,
You
watch
should
party.
have
Like,
you should have an episode where you all watch a movie together and you can
That'd
like
be cool.
live
Yeah.
vlog the film.
Yeah, that would be
That's
cool.
That's an awesome idea. Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
record a watch party?
Yeah.
How do you record it? You would put like a sync like where you're watching the movie from, and then everybody at home can watch it with you, and then answer questions and stuff like that.
I like
If you
that.
want to, Keith, you could come back on and we'll watch a movie together.
How about that? That's cool.
that would be awesome.
I'm
Oh,
in.
that's beautiful. Okay, nice.
I'll bring the popcorn, Katie.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll all have a watch party. We'll all watch something together.
Yeah.
So,
So I have a question, Katie.
Yeah.
So
What was
since
that?
Halloween's, I have
Oh.
a question. Since Halloween's tomorrow, what's your favorite scary movie?
Rob Zombie's Halloween.
I don't know if that
Like the original 1970 whatever it was, or
No,
no, you
not
said
the-
Rob Zombies.
Rob
said
Zombies,
Rob-
because you get to
Okay.
hear the backstory of Mike Myers, and I just like the backstory how he became like Mike Myers, and I just like that version. I mean, like I like
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I like the original one because who doesn't like Wes Craven?
Yeah.
You know.
That's right. It was
I
Rob
have
Screamer.
no
I was
idea.
just gonna say, not many people I could ask this question to and not know if they know the answer, but I can ask this with confidence because I know you've seen both. Would you say original Dawn of the Dead or the remake is your favorite?
The original.
question mark. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
That's not a question, love.
I'm confused.
It's a horror movie. I don't.
When you're older.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
My daughter asks me, she's 9, last night, unprompted. Katie says to me out of nowhere, I want to watch Jaws, the shark movie. And I look at her and I'm like, you know what Jaws is about, right? And she says, yeah, it's about a shark. I'm like, a shark that eats people. I'm like, you really want to watch Jaws? And she's like, yeah, I think this is good. And I go, you know what, Bella? I go, you won't go in the pool all summer next summer if I let you watch Jaws. You are not watching Jaws, kid. And it's one of my favorite movies. And I can't wait to watch it with her, but it's not happening now. No way.
We were talking about that earlier today, because we were talking about the cinematic impact that Jaws had, because it was so influential on cinema in general. It created the summer blockbuster. And that was a fascinating story that I can't remember if it was because of the delays in production, but also because so many people were afraid to go to the beach. There were so many cancellations and vacations in Florida and along the East Coast and the West Coast. It sent people to the theaters indoors to see movies, and it was so popular. It was released in the summer that's where the summer blockbuster was born, was from Jaws.
It's so fascinating too, because of the technical problems they had. They weren't able to really reveal the shark the way that they originally had intended.
We were talking about that too.
Yeah, they went with this really artistic approach where the shark only really appears 2 or 3 times in the entirety of the film because they couldn't get the technology to work correctly. And it wound up
and it
being
made it so much scarier. You're like watching it from the point of view of the shark, and it made it because when you're in the water in the ocean, you can't see anything. It's dark.
Yeah.
And so it makes it even freakier. And before that, most horror movie, the genre, it was like you would see the monster, you would see the whatever, and it was usually very hokey and it was fun, but it wasn't really scary. You have this brand new cinematographic technique. That's what I'm looking for. Technique where you don't show the beast or the monster, and you're seeing it from their point of view, and it's dark and scary. You don't know where it's coming from, and it was from a mistake. It was because the stupid shark, which Steven Spielberg nicknamed Bruce after his lawyer. So if you in Finding Nemo, when the great white's is named Bruce, I was about to ask, is that why Nemo named Bruce? It didn't work, and so they were like, "This looks stupid," and so they did it completely differently, and it completely revolutionized horror.
And you're right, because they didn't have the shark. Spielberg also had to rely on the music, So he referred to John Williams. When you hear the music, that's what scares you. You don't even have to see the shark if you hear the music. As soon as you hear the music, you run out of the water.
And you're talking about 2 notes, 2 bass notes, and everybody
it's just
knows
a minor
those 2 notes.
And to this day, whenever someone plays a minor second, just that interval alone, it like it's John Williams' interval. It's Jaws.
Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Steven Spielberg, y'all, he was only 24 when he directed that. He was 24 years old. I mean, that's crazy.
Katie, you have to have a popping the popcorn. Jaws 1 through 4. You got to do it.
Yeah, I'm doing Blade right now.
We can breeze over Jaws 3. Let's skip that one.
I like Jaws 3. Jaws 3 was pure 80s. It was pure.
It was, and it's fun in the hokiness. Yeah. It is fun that way, yeah.
And the shtick of Jaws 3 was Jaws 3D.
Yeah.
So
yes,
I remember that.
Stuff that's in it, it's all gimmicks. Yeah. It was all 3D gimmicks. It looks horrible today without the use of 3D technology.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Everything that was in that movie was meant to elicit like a 3D response.
Which of the Jaws was the one that took place in like SeaWorld?
That's it. Yeah.
That's that one. Yeah. I love that one too.
3.
I love it. It's so hokey.
Oh, I used to.
It's great. It's so bad. It's good.
Yeah. Dennis Quaid is in that one.
Yes, he is. Yeah, I forgot he was even in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you had Roy Scheider.
Lou Gossett Jr.'s in it too.
Yep. Roy Scheider was in the first 2. I thought Jaws 2 was an excellent sequel.
It was.
I didn't think that Jaws 4 was all that bad. It was a little bit far-fetched to think that a shark had a generational vendetta against a family, but aside from that, it was pretty fun.
Right.
Okay, that is far-fetched. Sharks don't even know these people.
Right.
Personally, than we are of that.
That's right.
They just eat people. They don't even eat people. They just mistake them for fish.
Like, okay.
Usually.
Maybe it's just defense.
Usually it's a case of mistaken identity.
And most of the time when sharks do attack people, it's like a bull shark.
Well, bull sharks are quite aggressive. I mean, they're probably more commonly associated with people attacks than great whites.
Yeah.
I love it. In about 30 seconds, Keith completely demolished the entire plot of Jaws 4. I love it, man. I love it.
And he hasn't even seen those movies.
He hasn't even seen it, and he's like, nope. Keith, and
I
that's
just don't
what
want her
wrong.
to be afraid of the beach.
Yeah,
you like ruined my sister.
It ruined me. It still ruined me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm 42, and Jaws still ruined me for the beach.
I'm not.
Well, I still don't like to swim in water if I can't see through it. I will, but it scares me a little.
That's why I stay, because I live in Florida. I just stay on the shoreline. Nope. You go out by the buoy, you have fun. I'm staying by the shoreline. Nope. If you
go to
the beach
dolphins,
with me,
I don't worry about it because the dolphins will keep the sharks away.
I just stay by the shoreline. Nope.
So,
like,
Katie,
there are actually like stories and records of dolphins protecting people from sharks.
I've heard stories.
Mm-hmm.
So, Katie, what would you say is your favorite film franchise? Multiple films. What would you say that all of the time your favorite franchise is? That is it Harry Potter? Is it Star Wars? Is it James Bond? Is it the Hunger Games? What's your favorite go-to franchise that you just absolutely love?
It's Harry Potter. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan.
Yes. Hi.
And Star Wars is my second favorite, so I could go to Star Wars and Harry Potter any day, but Harry Potter is my first favorite. I've read all the books and I've seen all the movies. I've even read Hunger Games and Divergent too, and seen all the movies too. But it's Harry Potter. I just like how those characters come together. Like the first one's okay, but it gets better and better. And my favorite Harry Potter movie is The Half-Blood Prince because Snape's my favorite character, and you learn about Snape a lot more, and he's a complex character. And how he actually is, and how he's actually trying to protect Harry Potter, even though that he's mean to him, he's trying to protect him.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ready? We're going to take a page out of United We Fans' book. Your Mount Rushmore of Alan Rickman movies.
Love Actually. Love Actually. I have to look it up. I don't know exactly all.
You got to have Die Hard in there.
Die Hard.
Definitely got to have Die Hard. I love Love Actually. I agree with you. That would be on mine as well.
Sense and Sensibility. So that was the first movie I ever saw with Alan Rickman was Sense and Sensibility, and I just fell in love with the character Christopher Brandon. I loved it so much. I loved his character that I wanted to name, if we ever had a boy, I wanted to name him Christopher Brandon And my husband put the kibosh on it because I have an ex-boyfriend named Brandon. He's like, we're not naming our son after your ex-boyfriend. It's like,
so it's Love Actually. It's Love Actually, Die Hard, Robin Hood. He was in Sweeting Todd, and I liked him in Sweeting Todd.
Yes, Robin Hood. I love that Robin Hood with Kevin Costner, Prince of Thieves.
Mm-hmm. So what is y'all's Mount Rushmore of Alan Rickman movies? What is y'all's Mount Rushmore?
I'm taking yours. I'm
Me
just
too.
taking yours. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I would probably throw in one of the Harry Potter movies to represent all of them, and Sense and Sensibility would be one of them. And here's a confession: as much as I love movies, I've never seen Die Hard.
What?
It's a Christmas movie, so you can go.
I know.
It's the season.
I've never seen it.
It's one of Bruce Willis's better movies.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Alan
really
Rickman
like-
stole that movie, so yeah, you definitely have to catch it just for Alan Rickman's performance.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting
KDB.
piece of trivia. He didn't start acting until he was my age. He was 42 or 43 when he got his first acting gig.
Wow.
So that's kind of
KDB,
cool.
settle the debate. Die Hard, Christmas movie or no?
Christmas movie.
Absolutely.
I say Christmas.
You
I
go.
agree.
I
girl.
haven't even seen it. No, I know it's a Christmas movie.
I have no idea what you guys are
It's
I watch
Christmas
it-
at Nakatomi Plaza.
I watch it every Christmas. It's like one of those movies that I have to watch every Christmas. But also another movie that I like Bruce Willis in is The Fifth Element. I don't know if anybody's seen that one.
Multipass.
It's been
I
a
have seen-
long time. I think we saw it in the theater when I think I was like 10 when it came out, and it just didn't register with me at the time.
Yeah.
It's been a
It was
long
one of
time.
Mila Jovovich's first films. It was a breakout performance for her.
Right.
She would go
She
on
won. What's
Yeah.
what's your favorite Disney movie?
I really like The Little Mermaid, and I don't know my husband's favorite Disney movie. I don't think.
Well, Star Wars is now Disney, right?
It is.
It is.
So Empire.
Mhm.
Ah,
Yeah.
Empire
Like
Strikes
it.
Back's my favorite too.
That's my favorite.
Keith,
Favorite
what's
Disney
your
movie?
favorite Star Wars movie?
Oh, Star Wars movie.
A New Hope.
A New Hope.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Mhm.
good
Got an
one.
OG kid here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Good one.
That was the first Star Wars movie you saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
And what's your
Empire
favorite
for
Disney
me.
movie?
Yeah. Same thing. Empire. Empire Strikes Back, without a doubt.
And what's your favorite
That's my
Disney movie, Keith? Do you have a favorite one?
I'm sorry. A favorite Disney movie?
Yeah, what's your favorite Disney movie? Do you have one, Keith? He doesn't know.
Need some time to think about it. I guess he'll need some time
Too
to
many
think
to
about it.
choose from.
What's your favorite? Sarah, what's your favorite Disney movie?
Oh golly! I mean, it depends on if you're talking animated, live action, classic versus Renaissance versus modern. There's so many.
Whatever one.
Okay. All right.
So, favorite Disney movie. Jeez. Animated, probably The Lion King. It always gets me. It just right in the feels, just on a spiritual level for that one. Because when he sees his dad and he says, "Remember who you are. You're more than what you've become." It's like even as an adult, that I'll sometimes hear that message in my head, and I'll be like, "I can do better. I can be more. I can be better." Simba. Yeah, probably The Lion King when it comes to animated. As far as movies, I don't know. That's a tough one. There's so many. I mean, Disney was my childhood, so I mean, you name the movie, and I probably saw it and loved it. I have although this makes me think of something. I've been wondering this for a while. As most of us here are pretty big Disney fans, does anybody else remember the '80s series Danger Bay? Did anybody else watch that and just love it?
No.
Am I the only one? Mark, you remember?
We were talking about that. I want to say like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah. We were like just reminiscing on all old Disney stuff, like animated too. We were I don't know what prompted me to do it, but I started singing the Gummy Bears theme. Probably because I saw it on TikTok.
That's
Here,
awesome.
there, and everywhere.
Yeah,
I
that
bet you're young compared.
theme songs just went really, really hard back then. Like they didn't play
Mhm.
around. They're like, we don't care if this is like an afternoon show. Like we're going hard. Like the DuckTales theme. We went on all DuckTales, Gummy Bears, Rescue Rangers theme, even Darkwing Duck. They brought the A-list talent to those theme songs. But Disney
Those
went
things
hard.
still get stuck in my head to this day. Those themes.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that every day after, and I was like in high school, middle school, and high school when that was on TV. And I'm like, I'm way too old for this. I don't even care. I'm still gonna
Right.
watch it every day.
Yeah, I've
It's
never
great.
seen it.
But
Keith,
yeah, Ranger Bay and the Edison twins were the two that I remember when we first got the Disney Channel in 1986. And I was curious, since we were going to be talking about film, if anyone else had seen those, because I was just addicted to those.
Were there any other let's continue to age ourselves since we're doing it so well here. Did anyone else hear Mickey Mouser-sized like I did?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Am I the only person that Mouser-sized? Because
No.
I remember that. And Masterpiece Theater. I was so my husband was a big PBS kid. Like his parents would watch PBS growing up, and he was talking about Masterpiece Theater, and I was like, but did you ever see Masterpiece Theater? And I found it on YouTube, and I was showing him old episodes of George Plimpton, like totally academic, approach to analyzing the old Disney cartoons. And he was like, I never saw this. And it was so funny because it said subscribe now, and it had like the Disney Channel, and it had the 800 number on it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so old.
Right.
It was great. It was great.
Keith, you still watch Seinfeld sometimes, don't you? Remember last time you were saying you like Seinfeld?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite
That's a good
episode?
show.
Do you have a favorite episode?
The one with the soup.
The soup nuts.
Oh yeah.
No soup for you.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
No soup for you. Next.
and it's on Netflix right now, so you can watch it as much as you want.
Yeah,
They get all the seasons for free.
yeah,
Ish.
yeah.
Yes, they do. Have you
Ish.
guys seen it, SheWind?
I've actually only seen like bits and pieces of episodes, but like never actually seen like sat down and like binge watched it.
Gotcha. Yeah, right now I've been watching that and Friends. Does anybody else like Friends?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's a good
I remember waiting week to week for Friends. That was must-see TV was what they called it.
Yes,
and
it was.
You had like those were the first watch parties that we would all get together, friends watching Friends. Like I remember that so well in college. We would get together
Me
in
too.
college.
I was
and
gonna say in
watch
college. We would, after dinner, we would gather around the TV that was in the lounge area for the dorms, and that was like my one of the defining experience of my college years was Thursday nights and at the Cannon Center watching Friends and Seinfeld back to back.
And
Yeah,
listen,
every
I don't care what anyone says. They were on a break. They were on. A break. And if you watch the Friends reunion, they even reiterated that they were on a break. So anyone who says otherwise, you're wrong.
Right.
And
Yeah, I'm
Any
watching
other-
Frasier.
You like Frasier? I like that show too.
yeah,
I like
Frasier's
it.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah, I like Frasier. What do you like about Frasier? Do you like because he's a podcaster or like a radio talk show host?
He's just funny.
He's just funny.
yeah.
I like his dad.
Yeah, he's
You have a favorite episode?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It's the one where it's called The Innkeepers. I believe it's season 2, episode 23, right before season 2, episode 24, Dark Victory. Yeah, that's the one where they open up a restaurant, call it the Happy Brothers, and everything goes wrong. Starting with Niles chopping eels without taking them out of the tank to an exploding cherry jubilee.
Yeah.
And cherries embedded in an acoustic ceiling tile.
Kerwin, you all got to start a Frasier podcast now. That was amazing.
I just said
That was
that
amazing.
Yeah. I don't know how many times we watched that particular episode, but yeah, Frasier is on, I don't know, every other day. You know,
Mhm.
we're just going through watching, you know, the different seasons, different episodes. So yeah, so that's what we watch. Yeah.
You guys have any
I
other
like the
questions
one-
for me?
Oh,
What?
sorry.
Go ahead,
I was
Sarah.
gonna say I like the one where they're driving. I can't remember if they're driving from Canada back into the U.S., but there's a checkpoint, and Daphne's in the I think they're in an RV, and she doesn't have her papers with her. And, you know, she's British, and the only thing she can think to do is to say "sure" because it's the only word she can say without her British accent. Sure, sure.
Mhm.
Oh, and my second favorite is that episode Ham Radio, season 4, episode 18. So Frasier tries to make a recreation of the KACL's first radio drama, Nightmare Inn, and everything goes wrong. Like, that's
course, it
just
always
the
has to go
classic
wrong.
plot. Everything goes wrong.
Everything always
Everything goes wrong.
right? Yeah.
Like,
All right,
the
so I
man-
have some
the man
trivia.
that's doing at least half the voices for the
All right,
show
Keith.
quits. So
I
Frasier
got some
has to
trivia
bring
for
in
you. You
his
ready?
brother.
I got some trivia for you, Keith. I have a good feeling about this. What do you know? What show Frasier was from
Oh, the
before he
spinoff.
was on
Cheers.
Frasier?
Oh,
Yeah.
he knew. Cheers.
He nailed it.
This is spinoff. Cheers.
Good job.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Nice job. That's amazing.
Have
That's
you seen
amazing.
Cheers?
No.
No,
He has not
you haven't
seen
seen that.
Cheers. But
But he knew.
you know, the connection between Cheers and Star Wars, Rhea Perlman.
Yep.
So she was voicing one of the characters in the Bad Batch.
You said.
Yes, she was Sid. So I mentioned to Keith who Rhea Perlman is because, of course, he didn't know Rhea Perlman, or he's never watched Cheers. So that's how he found out Cheers, and then Frasier was a spinoff of Cheers. So it's all connected.
Yep. And we just talked about we were doing a solo podcast, and we talked about Woody Harrelson and his start on
That's
Cheers,
right,
and
yeah.
how far he's come.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Woody was also on Cheers. Yeah.
Who's
yeah.
he?
Woody Harrelson. Beckett.
He's
in Solo.
in Solo.
Yeah. Yeah. How about that?
Actually, I did not like Solo too much. That's the one Star Wars movie I did not like.
You're hurting my heart.
Oh, me too.
My heart.
I love Solo.
So you don't want
Make
to make
Solo
Solo 2 happen? Is that what you're telling me,
Make
Katie?
Solo 2
2 is not
happen.
going to happen?
No,
Hashtag.
I guess that's a
Solo.
hot
That was
take.
great. I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty.
I guess that's a hot take.
That is a hot take.
just in this group.
We're still
Have you-
friends. We're still friends here.
It's all good. It's all good.
Well, I guess maybe I wasn't in the right mindset when I watched it or something. I don't know what it was, but there was something about it that I just didn't like it too much.
Amelia Clark can read the dictionary, and I'll go pay $10. The Mother of Dragons, I will go and pay to watch Amelia Clark act in anything. I love her. She's amazing.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen it, SheWind? Have you seen Solo?
Yeah, we saw Solo in the theater. I think when we were actually at Disney Springs, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we were at Disney Springs when we saw it.
Yeah.
Did you like it, SheWind?
Okay.
Because I know you're not really a Star Wars fan.
I like Star Wars. Like I've seen all the movies and everything. It's not like I dislike it. It's just that there's like other series like I like more. It's more my husband who's like really into Star Wars. He's trying to get our son to like it, but like he's like he watches like the first hour of Star Wars and then he's like, I'm ready to go on my tablet now.
Yeah, I'm like really
That sounds
jealous
like great.
of the father and son podcast show because I can't get my son to watch Star Wars. I've tried the Lego one, I've tried it all, and he gets bored and goes, "Okay, cool, I'm gonna go watch Naruto." I'm like, "All right, thanks." Bye."
I want to know like what's your secret of like getting your son to like sit through the whole movie because like we're trying to like get our son hooked on Star Wars and like literally after the first hour he's like, all right, so see you later,
Yeah,
guys.
Don't feel bad. My daughter's the same way. She loves the idea of Star Wars. She knows who's who. She loves the concept of it. She loves Galaxy's Edge. She cosplays as Rey, but she just can't sit for the movie. I don't know why. She just
Same
can't
thing.
do it.
He's got all the toys. He plays the video game, and he can't get him to watch the movie. I don't know what it is.
That's her little
Well, I
brother.
Movies.
That's our
Both of them.
boy.
I mean,
like
the
go upstairs to play on his Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda, something or other.
That he doesn't want to sit through the movies, and he understands the concepts. Like when he built the lightsaber at Savi's, he's always been a fan of the dark side. He has always had a thing for Darth Vader and Kylo Ren, and I don't understand it, but that's his jam. He's into the dark side, and so he chose a Sith hilt, but then he wanted a green kyber crystal, and he said because he wanted to use because the Sith hilt represents power and control, but the green kyber crystal, he said, is so he remembers to use the power and control for good and not evil.
Oh,
You just got to tell him, Sarah. You just got to say, listen, the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities that some consider to be unnatural.
natural.
Right. Like you were talking about, like you were talking about on Babu's freaking podcast, Mark. You were talking about Mace Windu. He can windle like both sides of the Force, and he's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. And I just thought that was interesting. I meant to tell you the other day. I just thought that was interesting when I was listening to it.
So I don't want to turn this into a Star Wars discussion per se on you because it can go south quick. But I don't know if you had a chance to watch Star Wars Visions. There was a really cool moment in Star Wars Visions. So there's all of these Force users that they ignite their blade and the blades are all red. And then after the fight's over, one of the guys whose blade's red then diminishes to a purple. And I was like, oh, that was so cool. Because like Mace Windu, Mace Windu can channel some of those dark side elements in his fighting style without giving into the dark side completely and totally. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool that was like reinforcing the canon of Mace Windu's fighting style 7 that I was like, I get it. That's where I geek out, Katie. I get like really, those are the moments where I go, wee, oh, that's so cool. And my wife looks at me and she's like, Mark, I love you. You're such a nerd. I love you.
Keith, I know your favorite character is Ahsoka. What do you like about her? You don't know?
I think Ahsoka.
Keith, can I ask you a question? Because I'm a little jealous. What was it like to interview Ashley Eckstein?
Well, we didn't really interview her, but she was at the end of our interview with Mark Daniel.
Yeah.
It was an audio recording. We still have it.
Yeah. It was a surprise. We didn't know that she actually recorded it until, until Mark told us about it at the very end, and he played it for us, and we were shocked. We couldn't believe it. Yeah. But you also said that Ahsoka reminds you of yourself, right?
Sort of.
Yeah. Right. Young, wants to be a Jedi. She
is always
works very hard. Right, but has
always fighting.
Yeah, okay, well that's fine, and you have a mind of your own. You like to make decisions for yourself, but you know the difference between good and evil.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
There you go. So, do you guys have any more questions for me that you guys want to ask?
I have a question.
Sure, SheWind. What's your question?
So I know that you're like one of the biggest movie buffs that I know. So is there a type of genre that you not necessarily dislike, but that you don't like as much as some of the others?
I don't like Westerns. I will not watch Westerns.
Have you seen The Quick and the Dead?
No.
That's an interesting Western. It's not very Western-y.
KDB, how does Westworld qualify for you?
Oh, I read the book Westworld. I like Westworld.
Okay.
But
that's more science
normally
fiction than Western.
Yeah, but it's not. Right? I was just gonna say it's not a Western.
Yeah.
It's
aren't they on season 7?
Westworld? I'm not sure. I don't even know if they're still in VR. Are they?
Okay. They're actually in production right now of season 4 of Westworld.
Wow. Okay. Gotcha.
They are in production as we speak.
All the robots.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
They run around.
What about Paint Your Wagon? Where would that fall for you? Have you seen Paint Your Wagon?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Would a Western musical like Oklahoma, does that do it for you?
I like Oklahoma. Yeah. Oklahoma's okay.
Okay.
Or Seven.
Do you like musicals as well?
Yeah, I love musicals.
Okay.
I haven't seen the other ones.
What's your favorite musical movie?
My favorite is Picture Perfect. I like that one.
Oh, that's good.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, SheWind really liked that one too.
But I
Same.
like
Moulin
Moulin
all the
Rouge
way.
too.
Mhm.
I like that one too.
Love my
But
favorite.
if you're going old style, I really like Mary Poppins. If you're going
Mary
old
Poppins.
style.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mary Poppins.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So again, I'm going to show my
Sherman
age a
Brothers
little
all the
bit.
way.
Some of this was just I was at that age, but for me it was Annie.
Oh, I love Annie.
Yeah,
Carol
I've
Burnett.
seen Annie
Mhm.
one time.
I love Annie with
One
Carol
time.
Burnett, and it had what's his name? Tim Curry was her brother.
Yes.
His rooster.
Yeah,
It was so
I love
cool.
Tim Curry in Rocky Picture Horror Show.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. So good.
Mhm.
I just remember Albert Finney as Oliver Warbucks.
Yeah.
He will always be for me, Daddy Warbucks.
Daddy Warbucks. Yeah.
hmm And I also like Sound of Music too.
Yeah.
That's a good
Oh
one.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's a good one. I'm looking forward to the new West Side Story. You know, I like the original.
Yeah,
I
that was
like the
good.
original.
Yeah,
Really
but
good.
I
I've never
can't wait
seen
for the new one.
I'll need to
Yeah.
show you West Side Story. It's really good.
Yeah, but I'll tell you about it. It's a very good. It's a musical about the Jets and the Sharks.
hmm
Very.
I also
This
like
one
Rant.
has discovered musicals and loves them. She's like, she's just about got Hamilton memorized. She
No, I don't. I got like 2 songs.
she loves
Hamilton-
musicals.
I love Hamilton. I really like how
It's
they
so good.
produced that movie. It's so good. I haven't seen it in person. I want to go see it in person.
I
if
saw
they ever
Hamilton
come
for
back.
$10.
$10. I saw
For
it
the
on Disney
cost
Plus.
of a
Jealous.
Hamilton.
I
won
wanna
the
go
King
lottery.
George is my favorite.
I saw it for free.
Every time King George sings, I love King George. He cracks me up.
When
I love
Frozen
his
comes
song.
back, I want to go see Frozen.
You know who the original King George is on Broadway, right?
Olaf, or not Olaf, Kristoff.
It is Kristoff.
Kristoff.
It's Kristoff. Yeah.
Yep.
Plays King George.
Now I know
And
Frozen
and you know he
song.
also was in Glee. If you like that show, he was also in Glee.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he
never
plays
saw
Jesse
Glee.
in Glee.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
you
might
have
check
to
that
watch
out.
that. If you like musicals,
never
you
seen
have
it.
to watch it.
Yeah.
It's about high school kids, but it's a really
Right.
good like show. It goes like what they go through, and then they start a Glee club, and then they throw Slurpees at each other and stuff like that.
That sounds fun.
And she also got me into the Descendants series and the Zombies series, some of the newer Disney musicals. And Descendants was okay, it was cute. But Zombies is so good. Like I am hoping Disney like does some kind of a
There's-
Broadway version because I would seriously pay money to see Zombies on Broadway. That was such a good little series. I love it. And I'm
Zombie-
so excited for part 3.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
gonna
Zombie
make a
3's
fun
coming
run
out
with
this spring, I think, or somewhere in
March.
January.
March.
Yeah.
It's coming out in March.
They
It
actually
is
zombies.
What?
March
What, Keith?
2022.
I'm so happy.
Have you seen
Yeah,
Zombies,
that was
Keith?
good.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
It's-
It's
Katie, I
a
have
good
another
musical.
question for you.
So
Okay.
good.
You have a favorite actor?
My favorite actor is Robert De Niro.
Oh,
De Niro.
I love
nice.
Robert.
Classic.
Because I like him in Goodfellas. That's
Mhm.
one of my favorite movies. Goodfellas is like, if it's non-Disney, Goodfellas is my favorite movie. Because I love mobster movies.
You.
Ah,
Okay.
I like that.
You.
That's a good one.
Nice.
That's a
Yeah,
good one.
and then if it's a girl actress, I really like Julie Andrews. I really like her movies.
Mm-hmm.
Julie Andrews is very popular.
I really like her movies a lot. But I like a lot of actors and actresses, you know. But my favorite director, I love Martin Scorsese films.
Classic.
Nice.
And I like Wes Craven too. He's one of my favorite too.
Wow.
Any other questions before we wrap up? Because I know some people have to go to bed soon. Any other questions you guys have for me?
So I have one real quick. You're at 6 months with your podcast. For people listening to this tonight or tomorrow or whenever, any advice you have to people to like what you learned in your first 6 months and where's the future lie?
So So I just say, if you want to do a podcast, just don't listen to anybody that's going to be negative towards you. Just do what you want to do. Don't worry about if you don't have an intro or outro, or if you're talking wrong or speaking the wrong way. Don't worry about what other people think of you. Just be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got to start somewhere.
That's perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
exactly
I see it going like, I'm just going to continue to review movies that I think are cool and other people might like or might not like. But at the end of the day, if I know I'm making somebody happy, that's where I see it going. Here's a question for you guys. Where do you guys see the podcast going in the next 6 months?
Well, for us, again, I keep going back to your YouTube channel and just how much it exploded in such a small amount of time. Katie, I think you're making an amazing community by your passion for the movies and your kindness towards other creators. So I see your community growing and growing, and that means your podcast is going to keep growing and growing. So that's kind of where I see it exploding. And again, we're so happy to make friends with you while it hasn't exploded so much that you won't have time to make friends.
Right? Thank you. Anybody else?
Katie, I've told you this before, that I know that sky's the limit for you. And you and I talk about this all the time. As long as you continue to just be yourself and you stay the positive self that you are, I think anything's possible. And I was excited when you I remember when you started the podcast. I was so happy that you did it and that you jumped in with both feet. And I love how brave you are. Again, I love how kind you are. You're supportive to all of us. But I think you can accomplish anything that you want because you've got a really great mindset and a great attitude. So I don't think there's anything standing in your way. I'm really excited for the next 6 months, 2 years, 10 years, and we're here with you every step of the way.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, if I can reference again the episode where you were, talking about all of your favorite Disney films. I think it was the beauty. I wrote down a quote that you said. I want to read because I thought it was very, very lovely. And but I didn't write down the movie you were referencing. I think it was Beauty and the Beast, where you said that you see beauty in people and not judge them by their looks. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was beautiful. And what you're saying, that it's internal, what's inside a person is more beautiful than what they are, how they look on the outside. And I thought that was a wonderful quote. And that really sums up your podcast. Like you said, you be who you are. You don't let anyone tell you, what you should say on your podcast, what you should do on your podcast. You're your individual person. Your views are going to be different from other people's views. Your style, your format is going to be different, but it's going to be Katie. It's going to be your format. So I am looking forward to seeing what you have in store for the next 6 months. So congratulations, and I look forward to seeing more.
Thank you. Do you have anything to say, sir?
Oh, I was just gonna say that you impress me. Like I'm so impressed with just what you've been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. I look at the people who have come here to support you tonight and who wanted to be here, but maybe who couldn't have been. There were even more people who, if they had been able to, they would have been here for you. And I'm sure they're here in spirit. And that to me is just, it's so impressive. And I think when people like you and Mark, and I'm going to have to start listening to, you guys, the Star Wars podcast and SheWind. I'm just kind of branching into the, not doing podcasts, but listening to them myself. And so I'm discovering this content, and there's just something really special about like you and Mark. And there's just a sincerity there that to me it's what people I think are drawn to. People are drawn to you guys. And it's not that anything that you guys do is like, fireworks and this, you don't have to impress people with like special effects or gimmicky content. You're just yourselves. And you guys are just inherently so impressive and sincere that draws people. And if you continue to do that, you'll continue to draw people. And just that positivity, I think, is what people are looking for right now, and especially now.
Thank you. I appreciate all you guys being here. And for all you podcasters, where can everybody find you, SheWind?
So you can find us at www.bekindshewind.com for our animated movie retellings, where I force my beautiful wife to watch movies that she wouldn't like RoboCop, Lord of the Rings, and we just finished Mad Max. And then a couple days later, I make her retell me exactly what she saw with no notes, and then I animate it.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a fun time. So I hope you all check it out.
What a great concept. I love that.
Where can everybody find you, Mark Valentine?
The best place to find all things Dislife podcast is to just go to This Dis lifepodcast.com. We're on a bunch of different directories and everywhere you find podcasts. But if you go to the website, you basically can select from the menu on the right side of the screen. It gives you all the stuff that we're on. And then I have to give a shout out, and I'm sorry if I'm taking more than the allotted time. You can play me off like the Oscars if you want, but I can't do this without Brian Lee and Mark Adams and Rob Volpe over at Earth's Mightiest Weirdos. That's our Marvel podcast. I couldn't do it without my high school friend Mike Ruby and Brian Lee at Babu's Frickin' Podcast. And of course, look, I could not do this without Dwayne Willie. He's become my best friend because of the podcast. I love him. He's driving from Maryland tomorrow to hang out with us. And our family, our Dislife family,
Awesome.
You're a part of our Disney family. Sarah's part of our Disney family. You guys have enriched my life. My podcast came from COVID that and Kerwin and we live in the Northeast. So we were coming back from Disney to pure lockdown. And I was coming out of the Disney bubble. Like, Disney blues are real, but when you come out of the Disney blues into quarantine, it was like real. And I put on a Logitech headset and I said, this is going to be the way that I stay positive and I cope. And it's just been the best. Honest to God, meeting you, Katie, meeting Sarah, meeting Keith and Kerwin on a YouTube podcast, having a chance to meet SheWind tonight. This is what I love about this, is you meet real people, and I tell people it's a real medium, because all it is a microphone, a person on the other end, and a really genuine conversation and a genuine connection. And it's entertainment, yes, but for the people that are doing it, it's just so much more.
I agree.
Well done.
And you guys bring, I'll say this one last comment. You guys bring so much joy into my life, and I love each and every one of you guys, because you guys bring so much joy into my life, and I like watching everybody's content. And Sarah, you're like one of my good friends. I can text you anytime. You know that. And you guys have become like my best friends, like my family, like my little podcast family, and I just enjoy you guys.
Yeah. We love you. So
we love you.
It's an honor to be representing Team Dislife tonight.
Right. And Keith and Kerwin, where can everybody find you?
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, Amazon Music, Audible, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And yes, I have this memorized.
Yes. And we're also
Katie, can I just
YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yep.
Can I just say,
check out our
Kerwin,
website.
I just want to say this because I haven't had a chance to tell them this to their face. The last time that we met, guys, we were on the Disney Bunch, and you guys were really in the comments, and we had a back and forth. I have to tell you, I get such a joy in listening to the two of you. What you guys do is pure. It's pure, and it's so amazing. And it's just at the most simple level, a dad and a son enjoying something that's timeless, that spans decades, and it's Star Wars. I just love what you guys do. I'm a huge fan. Please keep doing what you're doing, because when I see a new father-son drop on my Apple podcast, again, I smile. It's the best commute that I have to work when I listen to you guys. I love it. I love your show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And Sarah, everybody can find you in This Dislife.
Yes,
on the
I don't
Facebook
have a
group.
podcast. I don't have a podcast of my own. I've been told I should make one, but I don't know what I would talk about at this point, because I'm a family physician, and so my life right now is like COVID. So kind of
Katie,
it's not very
Katie,
uplifting.
Yeah, we will claim her. Sarah's a dislifer.
I'll be a dislifer. There we go. I'm always on Dislife. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you guys know where to find me. You can find me on Popping the Popcorn on Facebook/groups. You can find me on Patreon /Popping the Popcorn. And I want to thank Amy and Dana from the Run Eat Drink podcast and Josh. And you guys can find me on YouTube and Instagram. I hope you guys all have a great night. Bye, everybody.
Woo,
Bye.
Good night.